The ambulance on himself the other night.
Okay.
And said he was under drugs, but I don't believe that he was. I think something's wrong.
Something just came in me. I was not doing that. Look, I didn't do it.
Just brutally decapitated. She's got wounds to her back. Her head's in the bathtub. I mean, it's a...
So redhead?
It's a... No, she's dark Hispanic.
No. The one you got detained, old redheaded boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got as far
Sergeant.
I got as far as the doorway. I didn't.
Yeah, don't go in. This is a murder scene. Decapitation. It's an ugly spot. Dion's got the suspect detained in his back seat. All right, thank you, sir. Goodbye. All right. So where's the body?
So,
in there?
Yeah, if you step up on the third ladder, you can peek your head and you see. I didn't get any further than that.
Up here?
Yeah.
Blake said her head is somewhere else in the tub. Okay.
I didn't go.
Okay.
I gotta wait for the CID to get here.
Okay. Stay right here, Earl. Nobody goes in.
911.
Yes, this is Jared. I did a little bit of. I need help. I'm at 660 College Boulevard.
Okay, and what's the problem?
I just don't feel well.
Okay, and you said you took this?
No, ma'am. I'm completely sorry. I don't know why I called.
Okay, and are you there by yourself? Is there somebody with you?
Ma'am. My family's here with me.
Oh, your family's with you. Okay. Okay, so you don't.
Everybody's here.
Okay, but do you need an ambulance or no? Are you good?
I need an ambulance.
I got you. Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 21 years old.
21. Okay. Are there any gates or any animals on your property?
There's dogs.
Okay, can y'all put those up?
Yes, ma'am. They're inside.
Okay, I got you. Jared, I'm going to have the ambulance on the way. Okay.
Okay.
County 911. What's the emergency?
Yes, this is Jared.
Hi, Mr. Jared. How can I help you?
Yes, I'm at 206 College Boulevard.
Yes, sir. We have EMS en route to you. Are you okay? Did something change?
Yes, ma'am. No, I'm not okay.
Okay, what's going on?
I've just been yesterday. I don't feel well, and I didn't do anything. I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I have EMS en route to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
27.
527.
What makes these emergency calls so disturbing is not simply what Jared says, but what he avoids saying. He repeatedly tells dispatchers that he feels unwell, asks for an ambulance, and insists that he didn't do anything. At that point, the dispatcher appears to believe she is handling a medical emergency, not a possible crime scene. From an investigative perspective, those repeated denials may become important because they occur before officers openly accuse him of anything. Prosecutors could argue that he already knew there was something he needed to deny. But that interpretation is not automatic. His confused speech and recent hospital visit could also indicate a genuine psychological or medical crisis. This is where true crime narratives must be careful. Strange behavior can suggest consciousness of guilt, but it is not proof by itself. The meaning of these calls would depend on the full recordings, his condition at the time, and what investigators later confirmed through physical evidence.
There's no patient confirmed use yesterday.
That's clear. What County 911?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Rodney Dykes. I need an ambulance and police at 206 College Boulevard.
Okay, what's going on?
I don't know everything, but my son's wife is... Please.
Okay.
Please, I'll stay on the phone with
Okay, are you on location right now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I am. Oh, my God.
Okay,
I'm here.
where is he at?
He's in my house.
Okay, this is your
He's
house.
in their house. They have a building on my property.
Okay, and you said this is who to you now?
She's my daughter-in-law. She's my daughter-in-law.
Okay, it's a female?
Yes.
Okay. Where is she at in the house?
She's laying on the floor.
Where was old redhead?
He was sitting down in the chair right here with his mom.
Did he say anything to you?
He didn't say. I understand this is difficult.
Sorry.
I understand this is difficult.
You need to back off?
Yeah, we're gonna need y'all to be separated right now. Okay, just in case, just until we get everything figured out.
Yes, sir.
You want to ID him?
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Deputy Lewis. I think I've talked to you at the door here a while back about maybe some dogs or something. No, your son's truck. Remember I come knocking on your door one morning and said, hey, you know where that truck's at? Could I get your name, please, ma'am?
Lynn. Terry Lynn.
Is anybody else here other than you? And that's one of your
Wayne
sons
just
there.
came. He was
Right.
gone. He took his dog to the park.
Okay,
And I
that's,
called him and told
that's
him.
your husband over there.
Yes.
Okay.
They just woke up from a nap. He told me it happened this morning.
Who told you?
Jared.
Okay.
And he has been acting really strange lately.
Okay.
He called an ambulance on himself the other night
Okay.
and said he was on, but I don't believe that he was. I think something's wrong.
Okay.
My involvement is when I walked up, he was walking the red-headed guy.
Mhm.
He asked me, we met about where that tree is. He asked me to put him in his back seat. I walked him over there and did. He didn't say anything, and I didn't say anything.
Okay. Thank you. I'm just identifying the folks that are here. I've been here. Have you ever been here before?
I was here 48 hours ago.
Okay. I've been here quite a few times.
Oh, when he called the ambulance on himself? That's
Yeah.
right.
And I need to go get with Daddy real quick. If you don't mind, just, I've asked them, they've been very cooperative, just
Oh, yeah.
that they not go in the house
Yeah.
while I'm over there talking to Daddy real quick. And,
Yeah.
and I'll be,
So no one go in this house or the one that...
either nobody in this house,
Can I at
nobody.
least get my dog, put him on a leash and have him out here? Because they fight. Anyway, they don't have a way to separate. They're not separated.
You just put him in there.
Yeah, I know, but, I mean,
He didn't think he wouldn't be able to go in the house.
yeah, honestly.
So you bring him out here, you're going to be able to tie him up where you're going to eat nobody?
Yes, sir. Of course. Yeah. Promise. He ain't gonna eat. Man, this
I'll go in with him.
10 guys with guns here. I'm not gonna let my dog run.
Okay.
Thank you.
Know these folks, Judge? Okay.
I know you didn't want this attendance shift.
Sir?
I know you didn't want this attendance shift.
Well, I hate it happened.
Yeah.
They said that the deceased lady and old boy that's in the back seat of Dion's car got married last September.
Mm-hmm.
And all they know is her name is Angie, A-N-G-G-Y. But she works at Cheppy's, or worked at Cheppy's. So if she doesn't have any, I'm thinking, we ain't gone in there. Hopefully she's got there's some ID in there, but they could ID her if there's nothing in there. And that's pretty much it. I didn't ask Mama or brother a whole lot.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, bye.
I forgot to tell you, Sergeant, when I was just getting Mama's information, and I said, "Oh,
I'm listening.
She said, he's been acting funny lately, and he told me it happened this morning."
Really?
Are you the homeowner? We'd like to ask for your consent to go into the house.
Into my house?
Yes.
No.
Okay, without, we're going to get a search warrant.
JR's right there.
Okay.
What do you need to go into my house for?
Isn't that where the body's at?
No, sir.
No, sir.
It's back house. This
Okay.
is back house. I've got 9 dogs in there.
I apologize. I was told.
No.
I apologize. I was
You
told
don't
it
have
was
to
in the
talk to me
house.
and start threatening me with a goddamn search warrant. That's not needed. It's not necessary.
Sir, I was asking for your consent.
And I told you no.
And I was going under the impression that the body was inside the house.
All right.
So.
Are we good?
You tell me, are we
I
good?
am. I
Okay, then.
apologize to you.
Can we get your consent to go into the house behind you?
Most definitely can. Of
Okay,
course
thank
can.
you very much.
It's just you can't. I've already been told I can't go in my house, and you're going to go in my house. You're going to have to my goddamn dogs to get in that house, and it's not going to happen.
We're trying to figure out what's going on here.
All right, that's why I'm getting
That's
upset.
all we're doing.
If you want to go in that house, I'll let you in that house, but you've got to send somebody in there with me to secure my dogs. If y'all ain't my dogs.
We have no intention of getting your dogs.
That's why I'm getting upset.
So we have no intention of causing any more harm here tonight.
Okay,
No,
it's a misunderstanding. I apologize to you.
We're trying to get to the bottom of what's going on here.
All right,
that's
you
all
have
we're
my
trying to do.
This exchange may sound like a minor misunderstanding, but legally, it matters. Officers initially appear uncertain about which building contains the victim, and one homeowner refuses permission to enter his own house. The deputy then explains that without consent, police may need a search warrant. Once the correct structure is identified, consent is given for officers to enter the building behind them. That distinction is critical. At a chaotic scene, investigators must move quickly, but they also have to respect the Fourth Amendment and preserve the integrity of the evidence. Entering the wrong residence without a valid exception could create serious legal disputes later. The officers also restrict people from going inside. That is not merely crowd control. Every unnecessary entry risks disturbing objects, contaminating evidence, or allowing witnesses to unintentionally reshape what investigators find. In a case this serious, the prosecution's credibility may depend not only on what evidence exists, but on whether police can demonstrate that the scene was secured and documented properly.
Randy Lewis, remember me?
Yes, sir.
You okay?
Yes, sir.
Jared, would you mind giving me the passcode to your phone?
Hello, he's here. Okay, so it's my understanding you were just in the hospital, is that right?
Yes, and after that I started feeling weird.
What were you in the hospital for?
Stomach pain.
Okay, and you knew, what hospital did you go to?
Memorial Hermann.
Okay, so that is your mom and dad's house where you live, correct? And what's your wife's name? You don't want to answer me? Okay. Do you want to tell me what happened?
I think it's important. Something just came in here. I was not doing that.
What was it telling you? If something came in there, what was it telling you?
Do you not know, or are you just refusing to answer?
I'm just refusing to answer.
Okay. Are you not going to tell us what happened?
Look, I didn't do it.
You can't even keep a straight face, buddy.
She was just a piece of trash you threw out, huh?
I know. Something on
What did it make you do?
the screen. It was telling me what to do.
What did it tell you to do?
It would like stop time. Every time I would do something, it would stop.
Okay.
And time would stop. And then it was like I was being forced. Like, not my free will.
Okay, forced to do what?
Forced to just walk, forced to go.
Okay. What did it force you to do to her? What did it force you to do to your wife?
It forced me.
To what? Why? What did it tell you to do to her? Did it tell you how to kill her? So how did you tell us how you killed her?
I don't know, because it wasn't Jared. It wasn't Jared.
Okay, so it wasn't Jared, it's somebody that was, you think, that caused you to do it. What did it cause you to do to her? I'm asking you.
That's what it made me do.
It made you cut her head off. And what did you use to do that with? Where did you get the knife from?
It was put in my hand by her.
By her?
Mm-hmm.
Did she say anything to you? Was she pleading? Did she tell you, don't do this? Stop? What did she say?
She said stop. She told me to break.
By this point, Jared is no longer offering a simple denial. He describes an outside force controlling his movements, stopping time, and making decisions for him. Investigators press him to explain what happened to his wife, and his answers begin to connect him directly to the act, while still shifting responsibility away from himself. But this creates one of the hardest questions in the case. Was he knowingly confessing, experiencing a severe mental disturbance, attempting to construct a defense, or some combination of those possibilities? Those are not questions a body camera clip can answer. Mental illness does not automatically make a person legally insane, and unusual statements do not automatically excuse criminal responsibility. Courts generally examine whether the defendant understood the nature or wrongfulness of the act, under the law of the relevant state. Investigators would also need to establish that any statement was voluntary and legally obtained. Ultimately, the strongest case would not rest on this interview alone, but on forensic evidence, medical records, witness accounts, and expert evaluation.
Okay, so what happened next? Did you follow through with that? She's fully clothed. She's on the floor. So tell us what happened. You say after you did what else?
You were trying to her, or it was afterwards? Or other spots on her body, did you do that after you cut her head off, or before?